everybody. Welcome to Dali. She came back. We didn't scare her off. She brought Vikings with her.
I am the
Right,
Viking.
Dali, I'm going to let you take the floor for like 2 seconds
Okay.
while I see what they need on the other side of the curtain from me.
Okay. Go right ahead. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jenny. I see you're in the chat this morning. It is good to see you. We're going to be talking today a little bit about our hopes and dreams for 2022 or for 2023. And we're going to be talking about things that we were grateful for in 2022. Hey, PD Skull! Hey, I got my horn right here. I got my horn. Look at Skull! So that's what we're going to be doing. And we may talk a little bit about paganism too, both Celtic and Norse. So if you are interested in that, we will talk about those things today, I'm hoping. But I hope everyone's having a great day so far today. Oh, here comes Sherry again. Sherry's back.
I'm sorry. My son stuck his head through the curtain just as the music started. He's like, "Are you going live?" And I'm like, "We're on now." He's like, "Well, come see them. Can they hear me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you can hear." So
hey, Heather,
just a little bit of some good news on his end. So he was excited and wanted to let me know about it. So I was like, "Oh,
well,
great.
We're always grateful for good news. We're always grateful.
Always grateful for good news. Always grateful for good news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pop-ups can stop now. Who do we have? We got Renee's in the house.
Renee's here.
Heather's here. Robichaux's here. Hi, Eileen. Jenny and Lisa and PD Connects. PD, don't hate me. I keep forgetting your first name. I don't know why I block it out.
It's Priscilla.
I just have a complete block on it, and I don't know why.
It's Priscilla.
Priscilla, thank you. She's told me a gazillion times, and every time I like, what is your name again? I just everybody's darling, honey, sweetie, boo. You know, at work, they're so used to it. I call all my kids honey, darling, sweetie. I call the faculty that. I call my boss that. You know, the first time they hear me, they look at me kind of funny, and I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. It's just because I can't remember your name, so you got a new one.
I got the same.
So they're all used to it now. They just laugh at me when they, you know.
I do the same thing at my work because for the first
funny
time,
child,
really,
I like that.
I'm the oldest one. I'm the oldest one where I work, so everyone calls me Mama. They're all Hispanic people. They're wonderful. They're wonderful people, and they all.
With the exception of maybe 3 faculty members who have been there since like the dawn of time. I'm the oldest one there. I'm older than my boss. I'm older than the other admins. I'm definitely older than the students, older than the majority of my faculty. Like I said, there's a handful of the faculty that's got me beat in age, or that's the same age as me.
But it's kind of nice because I remember when I was their age, I always found one person, either when I was in college or when I started working. I always found that one person who ended up being kind of like my work mom or my school mom or school aunt. And that was the person that I went to for advice. It was my safe place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was my safe person and that was my safe place. And I'm finding that I'm that person now where I work. And that's nice. It's nice to be that person. I'm not in charge of anything. I'm just a worker. And it allows me to have like those interpersonal relationships with people, and I can be a light. You know, I can bring the light to work with me, and I can let it shine and not have to worry about it. So that's I like that.
Well, I know with me, it's like I have the only people that I'm in charge of are a handful of student workers.
Mm-hmm.
Who work in the office with us. This past semester, I only had 2, but that's all I needed. It was their schedules worked to where we pretty much had somebody in the front desk most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We desperately need more staff, and our boss is trying to get permission for it. He keeps getting permission to hire more faculty, and myself and the other secretaries are like, we can't keep up with what we have.
Yeah.
And you bring more, you need to hire staff, So
Right. I think it seems like everyone that I talk to who's involved in any kind of business or scholastic situation is lacking staff.
yeah.
And it's like, where did all the people go? Where did
Well,
all the
with a
people
lot
go?
of it, it was budget cuts
Mhm.
and just layoffs and cutbacks, and staff is easier to get rid of than a tenured faculty member.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh, unless you talk somebody into retiring early, which some have done, it's still um, it's like the last admin we had, because we had three for the longest time. She left like literally a couple of weeks before the pandemic hit and lockdown hit us,
Yeah.
because she was getting married. She was moving out of state, and she left, and within 2 weeks we were in lockdown. And so it was like my boss sent me home with a computer and said, well, you can just do what you do from home. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. At least I didn't lose my job. And thank God. And so we finally got that position filled. And technically it's like a step over me in the hierarchy of positions, but we're still in the same payment level,
Right. Right. It's
um,
just title
but
only.
I'm an assistant while she's a coordinator. So
Gotcha.
the student workers technically are supposed to be under her authority. So when she started in the middle of the semester, this last semester, I said, I can keep taking care of the student workers till the end of the semester. That way you don't have to think about it. Just learn what you need to learn for your job. And then when next semester, when we come back in New Year, we'll go from there. Said, if
Mhm.
you want to take them over, it's all yours. If you want me to keep up with it, I'll keep up with it. It doesn't matter to me. Either one's fine.
Right.
So
The I
I
spent
sure
like the
will,
entirety
Richard.
I spent the entirety of my adult life in management, and now I'm not, and I'm so happy to not be in charge of anyone but myself.
Yeah.
It feels good. I don't need a career
Well, see,
anymore.
and they had me apply for that job because I've been doing it for the last 3 years
Well, yeah, it's a little
with
bit
my
different.
job. I was doing both jobs together.
Right. If you're already doing the job,
And
then you deserve
so
the title and the pay.
they had me,
That's
the pay
different.
stayed the same. I wasn't going to get a raise or anything. It was just the title was going to change
Right. Gotcha.
and the responsibilities were going to change. And so, my boss, who's only been with us going on 2 years now, um, he was like, well, no, you've been doing the job. You need to apply. And I'm like, okay. So I went and applied. I did the interview. And then I went and I talked to him in his office. I said, I don't want this job. I said, I
Right.
appreciate that y'all had me apply, that you interviewed me. You went through the motions. But I said, I'm 5.5 years away from retirement. And then I'm out the door. You need somebody younger with more energy that's going to be here for a while, that's going to be ready to rock and roll
Right.
and go as we reconfigure our school, because we're the School of Computing and Informatics under the College of Sciences, under the university. And I said, so within our school, you need somebody that's going to be younger and energetic and ready to get up and go and
And we'll
do
be
all
there
the
for some
things you need
time.
them to do.
Mhm.
And it ain't me. It's like I'm tired. My back hurts all the time. I'm holding my breath that they might want to do back surgery. I've avoided it since 1999 when I got hurt. I've held off on the back surgery. But
Right.
now it's like, yeah, I may not be able to hold off much longer.
Right, right,
And
right.
I mean, I had
And you wanna make sure that you do that too, Sherry, while you're still young enough to handle the recovery. And
exactly.
you wait too long, and
See,
that's
I
why I'm
did
like trying
my,
to get all my stuff done now.
I
I'm
did, they
just
did the neck surgery in 2011. And that was when it got to where I lost feeling in my hands. I couldn't pick something up and hold it.
oof.
My hand would not grasp.
Mm,
I couldn't type anymore. My fingers and stuff would be numb all the time. I sit at a computer all day. I type all day long. So it's like I have to have my hands. The nerve damage in my shoulders and upper arms was just getting worse and worse and worse. And they finally were like, okay, there's no other choice. We got to do neck surgery. So I have a steel rod and 6 screws holding my head up. And it was good. It was the right decision.
Well, I'm glad
I recovered quickly. I was back to work a month after the surgery. I was in a hard collar for the first 3-4 months, and then I was in a soft collar for about 6 months, and then it was back to normal. And
you could type again and feel it. You must be able to type like 1,000 words a minute or some crazy stuff, because if you're typing all day long,
that's all I do.
I type pretty quick, but like people,
I don't even know how fast
all day long. I bet you are. I bet the keyboard starts smoking.
Yeah, I tend to burn them out pretty fast. I'm always having to replace my keyboard because it'll get to where the keys won't register what I'm typing. Because
Sherry's typing. Okay.
Yeah, that's only when it. Yeah. Well, the one at home finally went out, and so I went and I bought myself one. That's a tech one that's backlit, and it changes. I got it set to change colors, but I like it because it makes the clickety clack noise. It's a HyperX keyboard.
HyperX, okay.
Yeah, it's not it's a wired. It's not wireless, but it's cool because it changes colors, and I don't have to have all the lights on to see the type if I want to come sit here late at night. Yeah.
I have a super clicky keyboard that I love, and you can change the color patterns, and it can do swirly colors and fly across colors.
Well, yeah, you can set it to just be one color, or you can set it to have no color. And I've got it set where it just rotates through the colors.
That's cool.
It kind of just fades into one and then out and then back to the other, so it's kind of cool looking.
People walk in your room and they're like, "Ooh, Sherry's a gamer."
Yeah, that's right. I of course, got my microphone. It's not the good one, but it works. So my son got the good one.
I was seeing in the comments here that Renee was saying that like it depends on
she's had surgery.
Whoever depends on her title depends on who she's talking to. That's how I was at my old job. Some people described me as the cleaning lady, which really offended me because I was the manager of staging, but I did cleaning too. So I wore a lot of hats there. Now I just wear one hat, and it's wonderful.
I've always lived by the philosophy, and I think it was because my late husband was a maintenance man, and so it's like the first people I make friends with when I start a new job is the cleaning crew and the maintenance crew.
Yes.
Because then if something breaks or something spills, you pick up the phone and you say, "Hey, this is Sherry. I had such and such happen. Can you give me a hand?" Boom, they come right over.
You got it.
Because you're friends with them, you treat them respectfully. It's like we have one housekeeper. She's been there forever now, and that's Miss Betty. I'm very respectful with her, and she's the same way back, and because we're like the same age, so it's not like.
I'm sorry, Renee said, and the IT guys.
And the IT guys, yes, exactly.
And PD.
Well, we have our own IT guys because we're computer science. So.
Well, right. So
university
everyone's kind of an IT guy there.
well, kind of, sort of. The university has its IT team that handles everybody's stuff across campus. But because we're computer science and we do a lot of research with computer science, we're not directly plugged into the university. Because if somebody's research project goes wrong,
or
they don't want us to wipe out the university.
Right. Yeah.
Stuff. So we have our own IT tech director and senior systems administrator. And they handle all of our stuff, unless it's like Windows related or something was one of the software programs. Then we go through the IT department. But
Jenny just said she got her traveling nurse job. That's awesome.
Awesome. I remember you were
That's
asking everybody to
awesome.
pray for that.
Yes, that's
That's
great.
fantastic. Yay, Jenny.
Woo!
That's great.
Yeah, PD says she got carpal tunnel from cosmetology, which I could see that happening because you're
Yeah.
constantly using your hands.
Mhm.
There's a type of carpal tunnel that's specific to people who are gamers, and
Yeah, because it's the use
causes
of the thumbs.
right. It causes all these tendon. I had surgery on both sides here
Yeah.
to have that fixed and now I don't game
My
anymore.
mom had to have surgery on one hand for that because she worked at Joann's, which was Cloth World before it was Joann's.
Right,
But she did a lot of cutting
right, right,
material,
right,
and you're
right.
using now. She was ambidextrous. My mother could use either hand to do anything,
Mhm.
and so she always kept a right-handed pair and a left-handed pair of scissors in her pocket, so she could cut with either hand. Um, but her right hand started giving her a lot of trouble, and this was Jesus 20 years ago, I guess, and she had to have they did a carpal tunnel on one hand because of the all the material that she cuts all the time, and or that she did cut at the time. She's not here anymore, so she doesn't cut anything but cut a rug when she decides to stir things up. Um, she's like roughly 25 feet this way on an altar in her urns. My brother and I split the ashes in two. He's got an urn, I've got an urn, and then we've got pictures and stuff. We've got
Yeah,
like we got like a little altar set for her
well,
because
that's
she's still in
nice.
charge.
Yes, well,
Still
yeah,
very much in charge.
that's an awesome way of ancestor veneration. If you look behind me here, can you see
Yeah,
this right here? This is my ancestor altar right here.
yeah.
Um, and I do a lot of ancestor veneration
I
work.
want to add to it. I just don't know what I want to do or how I want to do it because I've got it up on like the top of the bookcase,
Hmm.
so it's on the very top shelf so that the cat can't get to it.
Yeah.
Last thing I want is one of the boxes to get knocked over and
Yeah,
ashes to go everywhere.
I just like shoved so much over there that my cats can't even get up there. So
Yeah,
that's how I handle it because it is actually a box of sand. So the last thing I want is my cats getting up in there and causing and peeing and pooping on my ancestors. That would
yep,
not be good ancestor veneration. I apologize. I'm
exactly.
checking my phone here to see.
Hi, son of what? Welcome.
I
You're gonna have to tell me
I
what
was
your name is because I feel weird calling you son of what.
I was explaining to Sherry earlier, you guys, I may have to mute at some point here because I don't know. I think
Waiting on a phone call.
most people know this already by now, but I have uterine cancer, and I have been in a battle to get a hysterectomy now for almost 2 months. It was one thing after another that was also wrong with my body that wouldn't allow me to go and get the hysterectomy. And now finally all the ducks are in a row so I can go and get the surgery and hope that it hasn't spread anywhere else.
Yeah,
And so
that would not be
they
good.
might be calling me during
Yeah,
our live.
like I told her, if they call, cut your mic, turn
Yeah.
around, take your call, and we'll cover. No
Okay.
problem.
Hey, do you want to talk about what our hopes and dreams are for the new year?
Yes, yes, that's
Let me
okay.
write this down.
It could be an answer to what you're waiting on.
No, it's test results, but I already got them, so I know what's going on with that. I gotta just
Right,
turn
because
this
we were
off.
going to talk about, and I wanted to get a little bit of feedback from the chat. Um,
Yeah,
what our hopes and dreams are for 2023. What is it that you are wanting to manifest, to bring into your life? Or what is it that you're wanting to let go of and release out of your life?
that's
Because
another good one. Yes.
they go hand in glove. A lot of times you got to let go of one to let another one come in.
Mm-hmm.
So, until you do that, sometimes it's hard to let the newness in. As most of y'all know, I've been trying to get another car since a year ago Halloween. So we're going into a year and a half now. Um, my neighbor's a young couple that lives next door upstairs from us. They just got married, and she came by last night. She stopped me. I was on the patio to tell me, I got my car. I got my car. She just got a new car, well, 2016, a
Oh,
new work car, and
new
it's
to
really
her.
nice. And I was saying, yeah, I said, I just don't know anybody that I really trust down here to try to find a used car. And because you really don't want to buy a used car unless you either know the person that owned it or you can trust where it is you're buying it from. And unfortunately, a lot of the dealerships in my area don't have real good reputations, uh, for being honest. And
Gotcha.
so last night they saw me outside sitting late. She came and brought me her friend's business card because he's up in Alexandria. She says, "Here, here." He said to call him when you're ready, and he'll help you find what you need and get you set up.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
That's
So
nice. So
I
your
figured
hope is to get a new car for 2023 that you'll
a
actually
newer
or new
car.
or a new to you car
Yeah, a
for
new to me
2020.
car. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be new. Um, Something that runs decent, gets great gas mileage,
Yeah.
and isn't embarrassing to be seen in. Is that so much to ask? I mean, right now I drive a hunk of junk, and it just is like I'm thankful, I'm grateful to Little Red. She gets me where I need to go and back again. Most of the time, we have days when we have issues, but she is just ripped to hell and back and looks like she's ready for the junkyard. It's
Right.
time for her to retire and go to car heaven and
I
and
know what that feels like. I was driving around a 14-year-old truck for years. I mean, I bought it used, so it already was old when
well,
I
this
got
was my
it.
mom's
And
car.
I put on
So
another 12 years onto this vehicle after
yeah,
it. Yeah. Oh, it was your mom's car. Gotcha.
yeah,
And it was ugly. It was so ugly, but it got me
yeah.
where I had to go. And then I was able to, through a gift of the universe, I was able to get a new car. And I gave my old truck to a friend of mine who didn't have a car, and
Hmm.
he fixed it up, and he's still driving it. 4 years
Yeah,
later, he's still driving this old
yeah,
truck that he fixed up, and it's working great. So,
yeah.
it's
Just
things.
it's the car I have now is it was my mom's car. Now she bought it brand new.
Hmm. Hmm.
It had 4 miles on it when she bought it. Brand spanking new. And then my brother had it for like 5 or 6 years, and it was his work car. And he just tore it to hell and back. And the inside is all ripped up and stained, and you can't keep it clean, and where the console is in the middle, where the shifter is, there's like stuff inside that's held together with vice grips, and it's like don't bump anything or the car won't work. And so, it's one of those kind of deals. And so, but it starts, it gets me to work, it gets me home. I'm a happy camper. What it looks like is it's embarrassing, yes, but it really isn't that important. I make it sound like it's a big deal, but it really isn't. But it would be nice to be in something that wasn't embarrassing for
Hmm.
somebody to walk to your car to help you bring something in, and they got to see what the inside looks like. It's like this is not how I live. Don't take this.
I am not this
I am
person.
not this person. Um,
I'm noticing like a couple people in the chat have mentioned that they want to get over self-doubt, or they want to get past. They're basically talking about how they want to get past their
yeah,
own personal hang-ups, and
yeah,
and so that they can, be like Renee saying, release self-doubt and welcome financial prosperity and stability. And PD, was talking about how she wants to lose the fear of interacting with new people. All that
yeah,
judgment, all that fear of
yeah.
judgment. I understand that. I mean, that fear is real, that it is. But
Very much so.
I can attest to both of you, as from woman to woman to woman, okay, woman to women, that you're both like smart, resourceful, beautiful people. So
Yeah,
I hope that you can get past your shadows so that you can move forward, because at the end of the day, there's so much that just doesn't matter, that we sweat over, that we freak out about ourselves, and it just doesn't matter. We're not that important. We're really not. You know, in the great scheme of the universe, we're really not that important, and there aren't that many people judging us. The people that you think are judging you are not. That's all self-imposed stuff. So
Most of them are jealous of what you have, and they're
I
like,
love you guys.
most
So
of the ones that you have funny feelings for are the ones that are looking at you going, God, why can't I be like that?
mhm.
And so yeah, and
I feel
I think getting past that just kind of comes with age. As you
mhm.
get older, you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't really care what you think.
That is where
You
I am.
either like me or you don't, but this is me. This is the way I am. Take it or leave it.
Yep. And then what you end up doing when you start practicing self-love, when you wake up every day and you give yourself those positive affirmations, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I can do anything that I want. And you start making a habit of being grateful for all the things that make you who you are. You stop caring about what's on the outside of you.
Yep.
Because if you're looking for affirmation from something from the outside, you will never find it. You will always be seeking that out. You will always be self doubting. It has to start with you. You've got to start right here. And, um, of course, that's easier said than done, right? That sounds all magical
Oh,
and wonderful and happy unicorns. But
yeah. I mean, it
how do you get to
sounds,
that place? How do you get there?
you watch people in videos or online and everything, you just manifest and all your dreams come true. And they're sitting there in designer clothes with a designer house around them. And you're
Right.
like, okay, yeah, what did you have to do to get where you are right now? Give me those steps. And, and it's like, it used to bother me to the point that I wouldn't even watch people like that because it
I
almost felt
think
like they were being hypocritical,
I think that like
you know.
I think the key is you have to lose your fear of uncertainty. You
Yep.
cannot be afraid of uncertainty, and you can't be afraid of failing. Failing has such a negative connotation in our world, and failure is not. Well, first of all, I don't believe in failure. I believe in lessons.
Yeah.
I believe that everything that you try teaches you something, even if it isn't successful. So if you look at it that way and you go, okay, well, this didn't work out. Let's not repeat the steps that got me here, and let's try something new. And don't give up on your
Yeah.
dreams.
Or do I need to sit down and do a review of, how come I'm here again? What
Right.
do I keep doing that keeps bringing me
Yes,
back to this point?
that is shadow work.
You know,
That
and
is shadow work.
yeah, and that can be difficult, especially if you have financial problems. Is like you kind of get yourself out of your financial problem, and then 2 years down the road, you find yourself right back in that same situation again. And you're like, okay, how did I get from getting free and clear here? And then here I am again. Credit cards are maxed. I'm flat broke, barely scraping by. What steps did I keep repeating that brought me right back to this level?
Hmm.
You know, and
Hmm.
that's a hard one. I mean, it's easier to look at someone else and kind of pinpoint
Oh yeah, you got to do.
where those
Yeah,
mistakes are.
you
But
have
to
to.
look at yourself and do it is
Well, it is because
really difficult.
right, our ego is designed to protect us. That's what our ego does. Our ego is there. It's like the flight or fright or flight or fight thing. Our ego is there to protect us from others and from ourselves, right? But it also can be that little voice of self doubt inside of your head saying, "Well, you've tried this before; it's going to fail."
Yeah.
Or every time you try to do something, you're going to fail. And like Renee
Well,
and you were just talking about
yeah,
the
the
what is it,
the,
the
the
imposter
imposter syndrome, yeah,
syndrome?
not feeling like you're being true to yourself. I
Genuine. Yeah.
I grew up with major uh, self esteem issues because as a child, I could never figure out why I wasn't good enough according to the family. That all my cousins always seemed to be perfect and everything was great, and I
Same.
was always treated a little bit differently. It wasn't like real blatant, but it was subtle and kind of just there. Now, not all of them did it. There were some relatives that treated me like they treated all the other kids,
Mhm.
but there were some that it was there and you could feel it. And it wasn't until I became a teenager that I found out why that was the way it was. And that was because my mother was not married to my father and did
Oh,
and
right, right.
refused to give me up for adoption and instead chose to keep me. And we're talking 1961, where an 18-year-old unwed mother doesn't do things like that,
Right,
you know.
right.
And then
But
she
she
had
loved
2 kids.
you. She loved you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was like, no, this is my child. I'm keeping her.
Mhm.
And then, she had my brother 6 years later. Um, and right about the time she gave birth to him, she was wrapping up the divorce with his dad, and which just was a nightmare. And so here she was, a single woman with she didn't even have a high school education complete,
Mhm.
raising 2 kids on her own in the 60s. My brother was born in 67. So late 60s, early 70s, back when a woman couldn't have a bank account on her own
Right.
unless a man signed off on it.
Man,
A
that went
woman
all the
couldn't,
way up into the 70s.
yeah,
That,
up into the 80s. And
yeah. Oh,
that was
yeah,
like
because
the
I
late
think
70s, early 80s
my
when that,
first my first bank account, I had to have my father on it with
yeah.
me. Yep. Not anymore.
And I mean, you couldn't buy a house, you couldn't buy a car, you couldn't do anything as a woman without a man signing off for you.
Mhm.
And I know that had to rub her the wrong way because she was very independent and was like, she never remarried after my brother's dad. She was like, I'm just not even going to go there,
Mhm.
and she did it on her own. I mean, she got her education through reading anything and everything she got her hands on. You
Yeah. Well,
know,
well, that just shows
I
the
watched her.
strong stock
I
that you come
watched her
from.
take the carburetor out of our car and bring it into the dining room, which the dining room table was a piece of plywood on two the horse thingies.
Long horses, yeah, yeah. Oh
That
wow.
was our dining room table, was a sheet of plywood. But I watched her bring a carburetor in and completely take it apart, million different pieces, figure out what was wrong, clean it all, put it back together, put it back in the car, and it worked like new. You know, Drove the men in the neighborhood crazy. They wanted to come over and do it for her so bad. And they would come hang on the fence. Well, Sharon, you need some help with that? She's like, no, I got it. No problem. And she'd go borrow a tool every now and again, and she didn't have the right tool. But other than that, she rebuilt her own water pump in the car.
Well,
She
that's something that you can draw a lot of
she
inspiration
did
from.
all of that on her own. She taught herself how to do it, as well as raise 2 kids.
That's awesome.
Later on, she said her greatest accomplishment in life was that both of her children got a college education.
Hmm.
And I was like, well, Mom, that's great, but you did a lot of things yourself. And she says, yeah, no. She says, the fact that I had no education and struggled all my life to have both my kids get a college education, she said, that's my greatest accomplishment. You know,
Aw.
and she loved being a grandmother. Although, when I got pregnant with my son, the initial response was, "I am not old enough to be a grandmother yet." And she was like, "Don't expect me to be a babysitter." And I'm like, "I won't even ask." The second week home from the hospital, she shows up one Friday afternoon. She comes in the house. My husband and I are sitting there. Hey, goes into our bedroom. Comes out about 5 minutes later with a packed bag and my son in her arms. Said, "See you Sunday," and left. And my husband looked at me and said, "I thought she wasn't going to babysit." I said, "I guess she changed her mind."
Yeah,
I said, "But let's not argue the point. We've got a free weekend." So,
yeah. Woohoo! And then did you spend the whole weekend worried about
no,
your
because I
child?
knew he was with his grandmother. So
Oh, okay.
I never had a
I would have
moment.
been like, oh, yay, we got some free time. Oh,
I
I hope
never had a
Sunday would be
moment's
free. I'd be
worry.
on the phone.
Yeah, no, not with her. I never had a moment's worry when I knew he was with her. because I knew that, like she was with me, like she was my brother. He had his staunchest defender right there. I watched my mother go to the wall many a time to protect one of us kids, and yeah, she didn't put up with no crap from nobody.
She sounds like a very
Let's see what
tough,
is.
interesting woman. I was just reading what Renee wrote. She wrote, another thing that helped me was understanding that although we were all from the same exact family of origins, each of our experiences within that family unit were vastly different. Yes, you are not your family. So I know that there are so many people who grow up in a family situation that isn't healthy. I do
Yeah.
know that happens.
Listen,
And you are not that. You are not your family. You are you.
exactly.
You
And
can
like
make
I
the
said,
choice
because
to
of the
do it.
way that I was subtly, I was like the redheaded stepchild growing up, and something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. And until I got older. And then it was like, screw you people, I don't need you. But when I was a little girl, when we would go to my great grandmother's and grandfather's house, um, my great grandfather, my papa, did not like the kids. None of them, except me.
Aw,
My great grandmother would make him go sit out on the wash house steps to smoke his pipe. And so he would take me with him. And I would go sit on the steps with him. And he'd sit and he'd brush my hair, or he'd talk to me, or we'd just sit, not talk at all. And he'd just smoke his pipe. I'd just sit with him. And I mean, today somebody would look at that and think, what's going on here? But back then you didn't think that way,
no, it was just an
And that
innocent
was never
interaction. Yeah.
there. That vibe was never there. Or
No,
my
he was
mother would have removed me so quick it would have made people's heads spin.
right.
But I
Right.
found out, like, within the last 10 years that he was a bad alcoholic. He used to beat his kids. All of his children and his grandchildren, most of them couldn't stand to be around him because of that. And as I'm being told this stuff, and I'm like, are we talking about the same man here?
And why did you let me go off with him if he was really like
I'm
that?
like, because this is not the man that I know and remember.
Well, see, that's another thing. Perception is everything. If
Exactly.
if his kids were, I mean, I don't, I have mixed feelings about parents hitting their children in the first place. I do understand that discipline is important, but I think that it's too easy to go over that line between a swat on the butt and a bang.
Right. Exactly. Thank you, Heather.
If they were really concerned about that, why did they let you go off with him? I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
oh, Jenny said something here. Theory H for me, it was the fact that we lived out of state and all the others grew up all together, and my brother and us girls were the odd people
Yeah,
out.
the odd people
That's
out.
kind of how it was.
There's
with
a
my
whole
family.
there's a whole
That's how it
branch of my family that I don't even know. I wouldn't know them if I walked into them tomorrow.
Right, but they all are together. They're all together. So if you show up like at a family reunion or something, they're just like, well, who are you?
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole branch of our family my mother would not allow us to associate with because they were the bigoted branch. They were the branch that belonged to the KKK. They were the branch that everything was seen in shades of black and white and money and no money. And she was like, we don't want nothing to do with you, because she was basically the black sheep of the family. She did everything her way on her time schedule. And if you don't like it, tough shit.
Well, and your mom,
that was her attitude.
Your mom knew exactly what it was like to be excluded, so she could have like when it came to how she made, I mean, I don't know how your mom was about people of color, but if she understood a little bit about what exclusivity felt
I say this now and it sounds bigoted, but at the time it was how you described it, was she didn't see color. Now, of course, that's ridiculous. We all see color.
Right, but
she didn't judge anybody by their skin tone or their religion or their gender or their sexual preference. She had just as many gay friends as she did straight friends back in the day. And We just thought they're more flamboyant and fun to hang out with. Who cares?
Right.
And
Well, it sounds like your mom was like a true
she was just,
trooper
she
in
was
a
very
heck of a
much
time.
a bohemian hippie in her mindset while having to hold down sometimes 2 or 3 jobs and raise 2 kids on her own, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So,
Well, I wanted to mention real quick what one of my hopes and dreams are for the new year. And I thought about this when you and I were talking about this. I sat down and I really put some thought into it. Like, really, if I had the power to manifest anything for 2023, what would be the things that I would pick? And the very first thing that popped into my head, and like really is heavy on my heart, is the war in Ukraine.
yeah,
And I don't care what side of the fence you are on, everybody is losing somebody or something as the result of this
exactly.
war. And
Those
it's
Russian
just
mothers are
horrible.
just as upset about losing their children as Ukrainian mothers.
Absolutely. And so I'm hoping for 2023 that um, there'll be some semblance of reason with those people on
Yeah.
both sides, and they'll be able to find a peaceful end to that war.
Yeah. And
And
at the same time, you have a man who is teaching the entire world what it means to stand up for yourself and your country and to stand up for democratic principles,
yes,
you
yes, yeah,
know, without forcing it on people. He's just being him and doing what's right for his country and saying, we're not giving in. We're not
right.
giving up. We're not,
I am on board with what
and it's
he's
like,
doing.
you go,
We
baby. I
we
mean,
would do that. I believe that would happen here as well.
yeah,
And that's one of the arguments about guns or no guns. I don't want to go into that today, but the people there are able to defend themselves
yeah.
because
The
they're
only
getting the
issue
weapons in to
I've
give
ever, I
them.
mean, I grew up with guns. My grandfather was a
I did too.
hunter. My stepdad was a cop. I grew up with guns. I had my own rifle when I was a child. I was responsible for cleaning and keeping the upkeep. I would go deer hunting with my grandfather. Um, so, I don't have an issue with someone having a gun. I have an
Me,
issue with someone having a military weapon.
yeah, I don't know that we need to.
That's different. I
I have
mean,
a
they're
hunting.
designed for one thing and one thing only, and that's killing people.
Right, right,
You don't
right.
use an
No, I
AK
agree.
47 or an AR-15 to go shoot a deer, or there's no deer
And
left,
if you've got a decent hunting rifle, you're going to do just as much damage
if
as
not more so.
right than having an assault rifle, which is
Exactly.
just silly to
You
have
know,
that. No, that's silly.
and
But I have an SKS, which is considered an assault rifle, but um, it's a full stock. It's not a breakdown stock. It doesn't it hit,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not an assault rifle, but it's been used in wars.
right.
It's a more of a
When my
historical.
grandfather had it, we had a gun cabinet. My grandfather had a gun cabinet. He had like 2 or 3 rifles, 2 or 3 shotguns. He had a pistol. He had a crossbow. He had one of those like pistol crossbows,
Hmm.
and that you could shoot the arrow and all kinds of stuff. I mean, and it stayed under lock and key. It was a glass fronted gun cabinet, so you could stand in front of it and look at all the stuff.
Well,
But it
that
was locked up, and the key was kept like up high in a shelf
right where no one could get to it.
that no one, I would have had to have found a ladder to climb up to get to a key
Right,
to get into the
right, and
gun.
you're not right. And
And
we come from a different time though. When we were younger, there was a respect for human life that doesn't
right,
exist right now.
right.
The whole respect for human life
People
thing is
didn't
like
feel the need
cloud
to
over
have
hill.
to be locked and loaded to go to Target to buy milk.
Right, and it's
It's like what the hell is that? I
culture.
mean,
The crazy gun culture is it blows my mind. I'm just like,
yeah,
why would you even? But that's why I truly believe we need to have before someone can own a weapon and I feel like every person should have to be licensed in order to own a weapon, meaning
Yeah.
you would have to go through classes and psychological testing before you could get that license. And I believe that
And
license
it should be insured.
something that, yeah.
You
And
know?
that license should be something that has to be renewed like every 4 years,
Yeah,
because
just like your
somebody
driver's
can be
license.
perfectly sane when they take the test, and within that 4-year period, they get dementia, or
Yeah.
they have something happen medically to them that causes them not to be
Or they
able
get
to
radicalized, you
crash,
know?
or
But
they get radicalized. Yeah. So I mean,
I
those are
mean,
that's stuff that I hope for 2023, that we take a stronger, realistic
yeah, I
look
mean, I
at
have,
our gun culture.
I have nothing against with people owning guns. If you want to have a gun, fine. I don't have one in my house simply because if I did, I'd probably kill somebody. Um, I don't have the patience I used to have 20 years ago.
Get off my lawn!
Yeah. But it's like, if you're going to have a gun, then you need to be responsible for it. And you need to be responsible for the actions pertaining around it. And you
Heather,
damn sure don't stand out in your front yard pointing it at people because there's a gay pride parade walking down the street.
yes,
They're not bothering you.
what
They're
has happened?
expressing themselves. Why is that a bother to you?
What has
You
happened
know?
to our sense of humanity? What has
Yeah.
happened?
Marriage equality. Why are these people so against marriage equality? Nobody's telling you you have to go marry someone of your own sex.
It just
I mean,
I do not
I
understand what
don't.
has happened. I do not know. I agree with you, Heather, about the 1 to 2 year thing. I think that would be a hard sell. I think that would be a really hard sell. I would think that it might be a little bit more easier pill to swallow if it was like 4 or 5 years. Every 4 or 5 years you had
Yeah.
to renew your license.
I think you have to go renew your driver's license. What is it? Every 4 years?
I think it's 10 now.
Is it 10 now? It used to be every 4 years you had to go in, and you had to, if you let it expire, you would have to retake the test.
Right.
But you still have to go in and do an eye thing and do a this and a that and answer questions, do a questionnaire. At least that's how it was down here in Louisiana.
Right,
And
because an automobile can be a deadly weapon.
exactly.
So
Well,
why can't we do that with guns too? So
exactly.
that's my thing that's two of my things or a couple of my things for 2023. I
Yeah.
also want to see people take environmentalism more seriously,
Yes.
because I am tired of people thinking that our planet is just. I'm tired of us acting like parasites on Gaia.
What
You know,
gets under my skin is to see the religious people who want to go on and on and on about God gave us responsibility to do blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, he also told us to be good shepherds of where we are.
yeah, that was
He
like
gave
one
us
of
this
the
planet
very
to take
first
care of.
things that
He
God.
gave us a planet for us to live on, and you want to trash it and then turn around and tell me that I need to be a good shepherd.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree
It's
with
like,
you more on that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I just it blows my mind how
yeah.
people are just so careless. Like, I don't know if you guys know False Teeth Tarot.
Uh-huh.
Melinda. She did a video today where she was like, look at this strange bird in the tree. Let's take a look at it. Oh, look, its name is Kroger. And it was a bag up in the tree. And that made me feel so sad. It was like, this is what we've become. We trash everything. We
The
as human beings.
plastic rings that you get around your Coca-Colas if you buy a six-pack of Coke.
Yes.
When I take the Cokes out of there, I take that plastic ring and I literally stand there and I chop it up with a pair of scissors into little bitty pieces.
Same.
So that it can't get wrapped around some animal's neck.
Yeah, I mean,
because I spent a summer one year down in Florida helping to clean and rescue ducks and fish and things right there in the water that either had oil spills on them or had Coke tab rings wrapped around them. And you spend a little time doing something like that, and you take a much bigger approach of, should I throw this away as is, or should I do something to keep it from harming another life form on this planet
Right. We just need to
because of
get
my
away from.
carelessness?
We need to get away from plastic altogether,
Yes.
because if you break it down, if you're cutting things down, well, now you're increasing the probability
A
that
fish
will
is going to
become
eat it.
that it'll
Yeah.
become microplastics, and it'll end up in our water system, and it'll end up in
Yeah.
us. I mean, we already carry a tremendous amount
Oh,
of
yeah.
microplastic in us because of that.
Hi,
And
Craig.
oh, I wanted to say one
Yeah.
thing real quick too. Indigo, or Heather said, I want mental health
Yes, I
to
just
be
saw
more
that.
embraced with compassion, understanding,
Hi,
and acceptance.
Shockwave.
I agree, 100%,
We're
100%.
talking about our hopes and dreams for 2023, Shockwave.
Yes, we
And
have to destigmatize mental health, because we need people to get the proper treatment that they need, and
we
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 need,
need
we need as a society to be able to pay for it. We have to pay
we
for this.
need to stop
Yeah.
we need to stop demonizing
Yes,
mental health,
100%.
where in
Oh
one
my gosh.
breath you hear, well, they're crazy, they should be seeing a doctor in a clinic or something.
Yeah, who's
And then
paying
in
for
the
that?
next breath talk about, well, they're crazy, so I mean, I'm not paying for their doctor, what's wrong with you? It's like, okay, look,
Again, the dehumanizing of everything
right,
is
it's
very,
a,
very
it's a fascist movement of creating the other. That's, sorry for the dogs.
that's okay.
That's how Hitler was able to turn people against the Jews so efficiently, was because he made them the other. You
Right.
know, they
Yes.
were they were different. He talked about them in references of like they were animals, and
Right.
they had no conscience, or they had no ability to prevent themselves from doing whatever it was he was talking about at the time.
Right.
And you
Right.
see that right now. I see it in the religious community. And I mean, I used to be a part of the evangelical cult myself. I was in it for like 10 years. Thank God I woke up and got the hell out of it. But still, nonetheless, I look at it now and it's like, do y'all not see the contradictions within your own words?
I just
You
got to,
say,
I,
I don't want ABC, and then in the next breath, turn around and blame the government for ABC. Well,
well,
either
one
you
of
want
the,
them to help with it or you don't, but you can't have it.
you cannot be picking and, if you're going to be a Bible believing person, I am
Hi, Mama Bear.
100% on board. Go ahead and do that. But then you have to see yourself in those words too. And that is where a lot of churches fail. It's they preach to themselves. They don't preach in a armed, open, inclusive sort of way. They preach in an exclusive, let's make our own little entity here and not let anyone in unless they absolutely fall in line with every single thing that we believe. And that is not how Jesus was. That's not how
I mean,
Jesus
I
wasn't like
remember
that.
the day when, if you were a Christian or Catholic or Jewish or whatever, you were the ones that were far more liberal about helping out those in
Yes,
need in your
yes.
community and
Thank
running
you.
food shelters and homeless
Right.
shelters,
What
and
happened?
put
What
coats
happened?
on kids, and
Right.
it's like, you just don't see that. Now you see it, but you get this self-righteous attitude that comes with it about, well, look what we're doing for these poor people. It's like,
Right.
just because somebody's poor does not mean that they're stupid
That's
or
right.
that they don't have the ability to care for themselves.
We
It
have
just
got
means that they're in a situation that they cannot
right.
survive in today's society
Right.
monetarily.
Right.
You
And
know,
we've our society worldwide, it's not just here, worldwide, the societies have all become so self-absorbed. But I saw that we're getting close to noon. Is that when we're ending? Is that noon?
We can run as long as you want.
Well, I probably should go at noon because I know that they're going to call me any second now, and I'm very grateful that they haven't called me. But I wanted to just tell you guys quick what I'm grateful for 2022.
Go for it.
Super grateful that I found this spiritual community. I'm really glad that Renee's in here too, because Renee, I don't know if you get the thanks and the accolades that you should be getting for starting this community, for bringing people together and creating a community of people, even people who aren't in TLC still move around in this circle of spiritual people. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to have found this community and for Renee creating the TLC.
Yeah, I mean, she promotes the different readers. She promotes the different shows. She provides opportunities for people to practice with one another. She offers community bulletin boards for people to share information or just share something that makes them feel good. There's so much she does, but that all costs money to run a website like that.
I was just going to say that. So if anybody has any extra little dollars here or there, please reach out.
I mean, every year when I get my tax return, I send a chunk to TLC.
That's what I'm going to be doing.
You know, it's like I normally don't have extra money the rest of the year. I'm scraping by myself.
Right.
But when I get my tax return, I send a little chunk of money over that way.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like money in church or anything like that, but she really does selflessly promote all of us and provide things for us. So I really, really, really hope that if anybody has any extra money, please reach out to Terra Love Community. She's in the chat right now. That's Renee. Please reach out to her, and if you can help her in any way, even $5 helps. So let's
if 100 people all donate $5, you know, that probably pays the bill.
The website's paid for, and we can prop her up so that she can continue doing what she's doing. You know.
Exactly.
Like a commitment, a monthly.
I mean, and the fact that it's not a paid service,
right?
That she doesn't charge, you know, a monthly fee for someone to be a member of the community, which a lot of these websites and stuff that do this kind of stuff, you have to pay to be a member of that community.
Right.
You know,
she has a paid option. She has a paid option in there, but it's still an option. You can still be part of the community even if you don't have a lot of money. So
exactly.
It's just
So I mean, y'all reach out
if you can help manifest.
Reach out and make a donation to Terra Love Community, and I know I just put her on Linda G's prayer list yesterday for prayers today, just to lift her up and you know, bring in funds for the website and the community, because she provides a wonderful service for all of us, and I'm always the first one to say so when necessary. You know, I think the world of it, and she offers fun things for us to do together.
Yes, I love that. That's one of my favorite things. All right, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
I belong to the Fellowship of Northern Traditions. If anyone is interested, if you go to the Wisdom of Odin channel on New Year's Eve, he's going to be Jacob,
I'll put the link in the description box afterwards.
Oh, that'd be great. So Jacob, our fearless leader, he is going to be running a marathon from, I think it's 11 in the morning.
I'm already got it saved on my computer to ding me when it starts.
Yeah, he's going to be going through all the rituals that we've done, all the gatherings that we've done now. Yeah. And so if you're interested in paganism, and I'm definitely not evangelizing paganism, okay? That is a path that's very specific for a specific kind of person.
There are a lot of paganism beliefs that I've incorporated into my own life. Just like there are a lot of Wiccan beliefs that I've incorporated. There are a lot of Catholic beliefs that I still hold on to because I was raised Catholic. Right. You know, high school, my two best friends, one was Jewish, one was Catholic. Friday nights, we all went to temple together. Sunday morning, we all went to mass together. I figured I got it covered, man. I'm getting the Old and the New Testaments.
Well, yeah, I feel like everybody's experience in life is different. So your path is going to be different. no judgment, but if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what modern pagans do on New Year's Eve from like 11 in the morning until like I don't know what time at night, he's going to be
Yeah.
running a marathon of all the different gatherings that
And it's
we've
really
had.
cool to watch. I mean, you can go back on the website and watch them individually.
Yes you can.
And
Yeah, and it's
I've
very
watched some of
fascinating.
them,
And some,
especially since you did yours. It was like,
yeah.
that's so cool. That's why I was talking about Vikings, because
Yeah.
our
I'm
Dali
very,
is a Viking at heart.
yes, yeah.
She
Oh, Mary,
comes from the Norse.
I gotta go.
All right, you
They're
go.
calling me.
I'm gonna hang a little bit longer. And
Okay.
love you. Take it easy. And if y'all want to hang out for a little bit longer, I can do some questions. If you want to, like a 1 or 2 card pull, I'll be willing to do that. So y'all are welcome to hang out for a little bit longer. We can keep going as far as listing different people and what their hopes and dreams for 2023 are. I know I personally am hoping that, we as a country, we kind of start changing attitudes and helping each other instead of keeping such a strict dividing line between one side and the other. But so I'm trying to run through. There we go. We need to send Renee $75 today. So if we have 6, 7 people in the chat that's got $10 they can send, it's paid. Yeah, very true, Renee. That would be really interesting because I think a lot of people would be interested in that. I did too. I went through a phase in high school where I studied religion and just the different aspects of it. And so I was always intrigued by the fact that when you start looking at all the different religions, when you get down to the very, very, very basic core belief, they all say the same thing. They all believe in a god or goddess or gods in the plural or whatever. But they all believe in a higher consciousness that they need to try to line themselves up with and learn from and try to emulate. So all right, I got a couple of you want cards. So if y'all want anyone else, I'm going to use my new dragon deck. I got this from a subscriber who sent me a gift for Christmas. It's called Dragon Path. I love this deck. It's really great. It's got like the dragons are broke down into different categories, and it's really cool. So I'll have to like stop and read, but okay.
I gotta tell you
Are you
something
back?
quick. So it looks like I'm getting my hysterectomy on the 10th of January. So
Yay!
this is so good.
Where's
This is so
my
good.
notepad? Wait, I want to write that down so I can. Okay, Dali surgery.
This is like
110.
you guys don't even know. Don't even know.
I want to write that on my pad so that I can make sure I don't miss it with my prayers.
Thank you. Thank
Get
you.
it on the prayer list.
But
And,
now I'm gonna need to go because now I have to make about 60,000 phone calls to get everything scheduled with.
oh
work
yeah,
and so
get
I'm
everything set up and covered. I'm gonna hang for a little while,
okay.
do some card reads for everybody.
Okay.
Before you take off and go,
Actually, I can do one too. I'll do one
I
with
want
you.
to pull a card for you.
Oh,
And I meant to do it earlier, and we just started yakking. I forgot.
I know that's Sherry. I swear, every time I sit down and talk with you, we're just like blah 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 blah. Like we're
I have diarrhea of the mouth frequently, so
we
I
just go
just
blah,
talk and
blah,
talk and
blah,
talk and
blah.
talk and talk.
That's okay. That's all right. Everybody likes good conversation, right? You guys. And I'm sorry that I can't keep up with the chat very well. I apologize. I process things so slow, so I've been trying to look
Well,
at
I went
that.
to one that I can't pronounce. Let's see. X.
Beware of dragons, for you are crunchy and good with ketchup.
Yeah, as long as it's not 45 ketchup, I wouldn't want to eat that. It might have, okay.
Now I'm hungry. Now I'm like, whoo! I gotta
Okay,
eat.
I have pulled for you a guardian dragon
Oh,
called, you know what? Let's do it this way. Uh, okay. Called Asclepius.
Asclepius.
Asclepius. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's how you say it,
Asclepius. I think that's right.
but that's a really cool looking dragon. And it says Asclepius was the ancient Greek god of medicine, the son of Apollo. Upon meeting him for the first time, his opening words were, "Your modern image of the caduceus, the medical's
Right.
symbol,
Yeah.
is incorrect. He was a healer of great repute in Greek mythology, and this dragon in particular reminds us that inside us too reside great healers."
That's awesome.
How awesome is that with the phone call you just got?
That is very
And I was
awesome.
just shuffling and just pulled random. Um, his particular affinity lies with practitioners who use healing plants, herbalism, homeopathy, and essential oil and flower essences. Add to this his shamanic energy and his affinity with snakes, and he is a powerful ally.
Nice.
This is the dragon of the healer and the shaman. His wisdom is boundless, and he has flown into your reading today. Know that you have his abundant knowledge at your side.
That's fantastic. That makes me
And it
think of
says,
this large team of people that are all trying to help me through this.
the
So
last thing it says on him is, "You are on the cusp of transformation. So allow me to guide you forward along the winding road. Remember, hold on to what you know to be true, for it is your journey and yours alone. Life never stands still, it is forever changing and evolving. Together we can transmute that which binds you, accepting that your journey on earth is about life, death, and rebirth as you transform and grow personally and spiritually."
oh, that's
That's what it
beautiful.
stands for.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna do a card reading real quick for the group. This is for everybody.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be using I'm gonna pick an oracle and a tarot. I'm gonna pick a card from the Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle by Dr. Stephen D. Farmer, which is one of my favorite decks.
And a Nordic tarot. All right. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I don't know
You're
what I
Oh,
did.
there you go. Okay, now you're back.
Put the book down on my computer and it totally muted me out. But yeah, we've got air, Roush, as our oracle card, and then I have the Oh, bring it up here. This is the Knight of Swords. So the spontaneity. Oh, can I get them both in? Here we go. The spontaneity card. So make sure you are as light as a feather today, you guys, and just have some fun today. Have some fun. Do something that you really enjoy. If it's art, make some art. If it's music, make some music or listen to some music or dance. But definitely take the load off of you today and push it away and just enjoy something spontaneous and enjoyable today. So that is my little reading for you guys for today. So, but now I got to get going. So you guys have fun.
Thank you, my love, for being here, for coming on again.
Me. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome back anytime. Just say the word.
All right, that sounds good.
You in somewhere.
I definitely will come back.
Love you, my dear.
I love you guys. I love you all. And if I don't talk to you guys, please have the
keep me up to date.
Beautiful New Year. I will.
Everything.
I will. I'll reach out to you in email and kind of just keep you updated.
Very good.
I'll try to keep everyone updated in my my daily reads.
Also check out her daily morning oracle reads. They're great. I start my morning with her, with Manasa, with Jeffrey from Ripe Color. Kind of get my little morning feeding, to start my day with. So
I try to keep it positive. So anyways, I gotta go. We'll see you guys. I love you.
Bye, darling.
We'll see you all again soon. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, now you have just me. We'll hang just a little bit and let's see, if anybody wants a card pull, just say the word. Let's see, Renee was up first for her card. Renee, let me see. We're going to go with the dragon. I like this new dragon deck. I'm still learning it though, so you'll have to put up with me reading. But let's pull a card and see what we got for you. Anybody else would like a card? Say the word, and I will add you to the list. And we'll do a couple of these card pulls before we say goodbye. And because we didn't really get a chance to take questions, we just both talked so damn much. One of the problems when you're with somebody that you really enjoy their company, you tend to sit and yak. Ooh. All right, Renee. Let's see what we got here. Okay. You've got X. Okay. This is one of the galactic dragons that I drew for you. And it's called Luna. Luna is connected to our moon and the phases. She is a mother figure, and due to her watery nature, she connects to emotions, creativity, and of course, water. Her arrival is a prompt to fully feel your emotions, particularly if you have been avoiding their messages. She urges you to examine them, own them, and release what you no longer need. She says, if you have been feeling overwhelmed, it is fine to ask for help. This is not a weakness, but an acknowledgement that you have been strong for too long on your own. A little self-care wouldn't go amiss either. You can only fully be who you want to be once you embrace and accept what you really feel. Only then can you truly transform. She urges us to follow our creativity and to revisit our talents, whether they are musical, written, performing. These are all good for the soul, according to what she says. And it all is part of It is all part of creating the piece of work that you are. Earlier, you always keep saying this, well, I don't do anything. I just have a website. Yes, you do something, and you do have gifts and talents. And part of that is your ability to want to care for others and provide a platform for them. And that's a very important uh, way to be. So from my heart to yours, thank you for all you do. Thank you for letting me read for you. And we're going to go to the next one. Okay, let's see. Um, Bora, I saw this, Bora. I'm going to put something up on my community page as well. So for those of us that have websites, maybe if we just post a little something on our community page, we can get some money donated and get Renee's bills paid so that she doesn't have to worry about end of year stuff. Let me see. I want to make sure. Yeah, I'm the same way, Bora. I'm the first to offer help, and I hate to ask for help. And yes, exactly, Jenny. Um, okay, let's see. Next up was Jenny. Would like a card pull, please. Yes, ma'am. We're going to stick with the new dragon deck today. I'm enjoying this deck. Of course, I'm just got it like a couple of days ago, so I'm still learning the cards. Um, I like the fact that she has broken the dragons down into families, into groupings. There's the Earthwalk dragons, the Galactic dragons, the Grandmaster dragons, and the Guardian dragons. And each one is in a specific grouping for what they specialize in. So that's kind of cool. So then let's see what we got here. For Miss Jenny. Ooh, this one is an Earthwalk dragon. Page was that on? All right, bear with me. Okay. Okay, Jenny, I pulled for you the Dragon of Courage. This is an Earthwalk dragon. It says, be brave, stand tall. You've got this. Actually, I pulled this card for Heather last night when I did a reading on her. This dragon comes to the fore when we need to be strong, usually on an emotional level. We may need her strength for many life situations. For instance, if you've lost a loved one, if you're making a huge life change, aren't you getting ready to start a new job, Jenny? Right? Have I got the right person in my mind here? That's all newness. That's all stepping out into something new, something that you're unsure about. She tells us that you are safe. It's fine to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. You are capable of a great many things, and it's time to acknowledge them and to believe in yourself. Your depth of character is your ally. Your ability and tenacity are your anchors. Now is the time to own them. Be brave, stand tall. You've got this. And that's your card for today. You've got this, girl. Oh, good, Renee. I'm glad you're feeling that because I know yesterday I caught you on your little live stream you did, and my heart just broke because I could tell you were really upset and stressed out, and there was nothing I could physically do at the moment. Um, so I'm glad that I was able to at least kind of let it be known that you needed a little bit of uplifting and some encouragement, and that everybody has reached out to you. And that's important. That's very important. And when I get through, I'm going to go put on my page uh, just a little reminder to help you cover out the bills for the end of the year. And you're going to have new bills coming in next week for the beginning of a new year. And let's get that new year started on the upside and not on the backside. Hi, Shockwave. Well, Dali had to go. Um, she couldn't stay any later, but I'm going to hang for just a little bit longer for anybody that would like to have a card pull. I'm pulling from my new dragon deck called Dragon Path. So if you would like a card pull, just let me know, and I will be glad to pull a card for you. And we can hang for, about another 15 minutes, I guess. And then it'll be time for me to go, as I have other obligations myself this afternoon. But I had kind of scheduled about an hour and a half for the show, and just Dali couldn't quite hang that long. So, but that's cool. Thank you, Bora Bora. That's appreciated. Let's see. Shockwave and Cheryl. Yeah, shoot me an email, Bora Bora. Okay, let's see. Who's next? Son of What would like a card pull? Yes, sir. You got it. All right, let's get these. Stop dropping cards everywhere. My hands don't want to work today. Okay, let's see what we got. Ooh. We've got, this is an Earthwalk dragon that I pulled for you. And let me find, because it's brand new, I don't know anything about any of these yet. It'll take me about a week or so to kind of get caught up on all of them. I pulled for you the Dragon of Freedom. Like I said, this is an Earthwalk dragon. This dragon appears when we have been kidding ourselves about a particular situation or scenario we find ourselves in. You may be feeling overwhelmed with responsibility or trapped by a circumstance. Been there, done that. Let's see. Maybe it's simply a feeling of disquiet and anxiety. We all go through those phases. If you have outside stressors added to it, can make it that much worse. What this dragon says, your freedom dragon, what she says is open your heart and you will see the inner truth of any situation. Don't be afraid of the truth, for it can be as liberating as it is healing. Change is the single constant in your world and the rest of ours, and you have learned to fear that change. Let it go, for it is your gilded cage. Give yourself wings and come fly. You can only be truly free once you release your strong need for control. Be brave, follow your inner guidance. Only you can set yourself free. Let go and trust the process of life and the universe. Take time out, free some time for you to dance, play music, get back to yoga practice or weightlifting or jogging or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Listen to the water. that can be very relaxing. There are videos online of just the sound of waves crashing in the ocean or water lapping at the shore. They can be very relaxing. Um, Catch the wind in your hair. Seek out a place of quiet solitude in nature. Sit quietly and simply be. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do of all. So there you go, son of what? I hope you liked that card. I hope that resonated with you. Um, okay, let's see here. We got Shockwave is next. And we're going to pull, and then Cheryl, I got you. And we're going to pull a card for Shockwave now and see what we get. I know I need to go eat lunch. I'm getting hungry. Oh, all right. Another Earthwalk Dragon. Wow, I seem to be getting a lot of those today. That's saying something right there. Okay, for you, I pulled the Dragon of Peace. It says, this beautiful and gentle dragon encourages us to be kind to ourselves. We frequently push ourselves too hard, whether this is at work or at home. We forget who we truly are and can miss the beauty in life as we become self-absorbed. That's very true for those of us who work a job, take care of our families, this, that, the other. You go, go, go. You forget to stop and smell the roses and take care of yourself. So with peace, this dragon's energy guides us to an inner tranquility, helping us to feel and trust that everything is fine. Finally, we begin to see and understand the beauty and lessons in all things. Although incredibly powerful, this tranquil dragon brings the energy of gentle bliss like the early morning summer sun, giving us a sense of completeness we previously lacked. If she has come to you today, her message is this: allow me to pull together your scattered energies so that you can feel a sense of peace enter your soul. Every situation has a legacy, but occasionally it can take a little time to appreciate or understand that fully. Let my presence help release any negative feelings, for you are truly a creator and are immensely powerful. It says that by allowing peace to enter our lives, we enable our very beings to carry more light. We become beacons for others to follow. But in order to do this effectively, we have to release our idea and our need for controlling the situation. We have to be willing to let the light flood us. Pardon me. Okay. We have to be willing to let the light fill us up so that we can then shine it out to others. The two go hand in hand. You can't shine your light if it's so weak that it's barely flickering. So work on that. And that's what I have for you today, Shockwave. I hope that resonated with you. Okay, and now I have Cheryl would like a card. And then Cheryl, after you, we're going to call it a day. And that'll put me right at my hour and a half, what I was planning on. And I can get to my other errands I have to run today without running behind, which is unusual for me. I'm usually always running late. Let's see here. And Renee, if you need anything, honey, speak up. Let us know so we can get the word out and give you a boost. While y'all are manifesting monies to cover Renee's, the website, TLC, continue to pray for me to find a car. I'm still trying to get a car. So, although I do have some good leads now, so maybe by this summer I'll be able to pull it off and get something a little newer and a little nicer, and that gets really good gas mileage. So, all right, Miss Cheryl, let's see here. Ooh, we've got XX. All right, this is a guardian dragon that I pulled for you, Cheryl. And it's called, here we go, the healer. It says, this powerful yet gentle dragon is a true guardian of all healers on earth. He connects with those who work energetically. He reminds us that although we may walk or talk, we also need to heed our own advice. We are not a bottomless pit of energy, and we need to take time out now and again and refill, recharge our batteries. His message is this: I am the guardian of the healers. You are capable of great things on earth as a healer and as a light for others to follow. But to do this, you must burn brightly and throw light into the shadows of your world. You give a great deal to others, but you must also make time for yourself. You need to rest and recharge. Your energy tank requires refilling, lest you become depleted. Make time to meditate, rejuvenate, to relax, and above all, to laugh. You may love your work, but it does not define you. You also need time to be you. No matter what role you play, any role you want to be able to fulfill that role to your fullest. He reminds us to not take ourselves or our life too seriously. Um, if we do, we risk forgetting that we are just one tiny cog in the great wheel of life. So, we've been getting a lot of, it's time for self-reflection and meditation and recharging, and yeah, that's coming across with all of us. Hi, Dorian Likas. You're here just in time to say goodbye. We're leaving. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Many thanks to Dali when she was here earlier. Um, I know she felt bad that she had to leave a little early, but she's got things she has to take care of. Keep her in your prayers. She's going to have surgery coming up on January 10th. So just keep her in your prayers that everything is for the good. The doctor's hands are steady, and all will be well in the end. Continue to keep Renee and the Tarot Love community in your prayers, just that they can, Renee can meet those bills and continue to provide the wonderful opportunities that she does for all of us. If you've not been there, go check out Tarot Love Community. They've got bulletin boards. They've got a list of readers. If you want to connect with someone, if you want to learn to be a reader or practice with someone to be a reader, they've got practice sessions that you can go in and meet up with people and practice. Renee also schedules all kinds of fun games and stuff. She has movie nights and Pictionary, where we draw pictures and try to guess what the other person's drawing. And she has, I think, a new one that she's working on now is like funny stories. Come and share your funny stories in life, like stories from work, stories from home, things that are just really ridiculous that have happened to you. And just show her a little love. If you got a few extra bucks, send it her way. I know that it is expensive to run a website. You've got bills you have to pay, a web server you have to pay for, and electricity and the internet and all that good stuff. So, and she's doing all of that out of her own pocket. So when we can pitch a little in there to help her out, do so. It makes a big difference because she helps all of us. She helps promote our channels. She helps to promote our shows. So as well as just provide fun opportunities for all of us. So I'm going to say goodbye. It is almost the new year. Just a couple more days left of 2022. And then we're going to get to start all over again. Don't forget to ring in your new year with, I know I plan on doing it with some sage and some candle work, and just to thank the old year for all it's done and bid it farewell and welcome the new year in for all it can do and for all of the possibilities that are ahead of us. So y'all have a great afternoon, a great rest of the week. I'll be on. Allie from Heart and Soul Connected is doing a New Year's Eve type thing tomorrow. From I forget the time. It's for like several hours. There'll be a bunch of us jumping in and out, say hello to a little bit. So I'll be on for a short amount of time. I'll jump in and say hello to everybody, and then hop off so the next one can come on. So if y'all have a chance to jump in and watch, that would be great. I do have some shows. Oops, what's next coming up? Let's see. I've got some stuff coming up in January. January 13th. It's a Friday the 13th. There's going to be a group of us that's going to go on Amy's Smiling Tarot. We're going to be on Amy's channel and do like a panel to discuss all about Friday the 13th. Where did that come from? What gives it the meaning and the connotations that go with it, that kind of thing. So that ought to be fun. We'll be doing that in the evening, like around 6 o'clock Central Time. And then on Saturday the 14th, I'll be doing a live stream with Andrea from My Tribe Tarot. And then Sylvia from Colorful Foresight and Seeing Two of Cups. She and I will be working on a couple of pre-recordings that she'll then chop up into smaller bite-sized videos and posting them. So that'll be coming up as well. And I've got feelers out. Who knows what's going to happen next? I'm sure I'll have stuff happening. I'll let y'all know when it does. I go back to work on the 3rd, so I'll be back to doing weekend stuff only pretty much because I work during the week. So take care. Thank you all for joining us today. Big hugs and kisses to everybody. Love y'all.